أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد سيد المرسلين وخاتم النبيين، الحجة في الميثاق، المصطفى في الضلال، المطهر من كل آفة، البريء من كل عيب، المؤمل للنجاة، المرتجى للشفاعة، المفوض إليه دين الله. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك وأناخت برحلك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أخته العقيلة عقيلة الطالبين زينب الكبرى، وأخيه أبا الفضل العباس، ورحمة الله وبركاته. قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم: أوصيكم بالشبان خيرا، فإنهم أرق أفئدة. The first question that I want to ask the audience tonight, and there are going to be a series of questions that I want the audience to participate and don't be shy to reply and answer to them. And that question is this: what's the purpose of an Islamic center? If someone tells you we have just established an Islamic center, what comes to your mind? What pops up? What's the purpose of this center that you are in right now? Why are we here? To teach you something new. Hasan, but the shabab in the back, you, the youth, mashallah. What's the purpose of these centers? Why they are established? Why is it that we build them, we buy lands, we buy warehouses, and it takes a long time for us to establish them? It's not easy. So what's the purpose? ذكر أهل البيت. أحسنتم. جزاك الله خير الجزاء. ذكر أهل البيت, yes. ذكر أهل البيت, learning something new, of course, yes. There is a hadith of Imam Ja'far ibn Muhammad al-Sadiq alayhi afdal as-salati was-salam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, that he said to one of his companions by the name of Fudayl ibn Yasar. He said to Fudayl: Ya Fudayl, atajlusun wa tatahaddathun? Do you sit in a gathering and you talk? What the Imam here is referring to, what he means is, you talk about what? About us, about Ahlul Bayt. You remember us. Do you do that? So Fudayl said, قال نعم جعلت فداك. We do that. We sit down, we remember, we bring a hadith, we stories, and so on and so forth. So the Imam Ali afdal salati was salam says to him, after he said, yes, inna tilka al-majalis uhibbuha. I like this majalis of yours. So this majlis that you have now, the Imam, our sixth Imam, all other Imams, they approve of this majalis, these gatherings. That is why Hadith al-Kisa, when you recite it, what does it say in the last paragraphs of Hadith al-Kisa, the last stages of Hadith al-Kisa? It says that whenever there are Shia, Muhabbin, lovers of Ahlul Bayt, they sit in a gathering and they're reciting Hadith al-Kisa, Allah removes all their gham, ham, all their worries, all their problems. Allah removes that. In the name of who? In the name of Fatima, wa abiha, wa ba'liha, wa baniha. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. The Imam said what? Inna tilka al-majalis uhibbuha. I like this majalis of yours that you sit down and you talk in it and you remember us and you recite the ahadith and the stories and so on and so forth. Fahyu amrana. Ahyu amrana, and bring to life our amr. That means our knowledge. Fahyu amrana. Farahim Allah man ahya amrana. Allah gives mercy. Allah casts mercy on those that bring to light, they bring to life our amr, our sayings. This is one of the hadith that tells you of how important these gatherings is. It's very important. That's why we establish centers. We go around. We open up Husayniyah. You call it Imam Barga. Yes? We do a lot of gatherings that will bring different ages, different peoples for everyone to come. And they all sit to listen to a lecture, to a eulogy, so on and so forth. The aim is what? To spread the knowledge of Ahlul Bayt alayhim afdalus salati was salam in a way or form. You see that we also have that Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Rada, our eighth Imam, says in a hadith, Man جلس مجلسا يحيي فيه أمرنا لم يمت فيه قلبه يوم تموت القلوب. That if you sit down and remember us in a majlis, your heart doesn't fade away, dies on a day that hearts, they die. You want to say heart dies? Yes, a heart dies. Heart here meaning what? What's the definition of heart here? Does it mean this literal heart of ours that pumps blood? Is that what this heart the Imam is referring to? No. The Imam is saying heart as in the ruh of that person, the soul of that person, the emotions of that person. Now you sit down here, if I tell you a musibah of the companions of Imam al-Hussein, his progeny, you cry, you shed tears. Tear comes from what? From the broken heart. That's why when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of his sons passed away, Ibrahim, his son Ibrahim passed away, he was crying when they were going to Baqi' to bury Ibrahim. One of his wives, Aisha, she said to him, why are you crying? It's death, so everyone dies. He says, my heart is broken and I shed tears. That's it. Normal human being, that's what happens to us. But if we don't have these gatherings, we become those people with no emotions. Nothing has any effect on us. There is no emotion, there is no reaction. I'll give you an example. Back in the 70s, they used to make a movie, Hollywood, and the movie used to have one killer and one victim. And for many people, that was it. That was, this is too much. But today, if you look at Hollywood, why? They have hundreds and hundreds of casualties in a movie. Because the new generation, nothing phases them anymore. And they even say, oh, death wasn't that graphic. We should be more violent. Because their heart is dying. Many reasons. One of it is haram food. Haram food. That food that you eat has effect on you. That's why Imam Sayyid al-Shuhada in Karbala, what did he say to them? He said to them, I'm talking to you, listen to me. And they were playing the drums, they were screaming, chanting, laughing. Isma'u qawli, listen to me. Nothing, nothing. And then the Imam became angry and he said, yes, you don't listen because your stomach is filled with haram. Muli'at butunukum min al-haram. So food, that's one. If you eat haram food, nastajirullah, has this effect on you. That you come and you fight Hujjatullah, you fight an Imam. Today, if you see some people that have problem getting up to pray, to fast, to cry for Imam al-Hussein, to go to Hajj, to Umrah, it's because of what they're eating. Because that food, what happens to the food that I put in my mouth? I consume it. It becomes what? It becomes blood. It goes through my vein and becomes skin. It becomes fat. I become that food. Yes? Tell me why you eat and I'll tell you who you are. So that's one of the reasons we have a center. Center to remember. And we do this every year. We do this every year, yes. 10 nights, 20 nights, 30 nights. There are some centers I know, I tell you, in Sydney, they start from even before Muharram. They start 2-3 days before Muharram and they go until the last days of Safar, even to Rabi' al-Awwal. 2 months, 3 months of majalis. Of course, we have those individuals in the community of ours. Alhamdulillah, we always have those people. They come and say, 2 or 3 nights is enough for Imam al-Hussein. Why are you making it such a big deal? And on top of that, you go to Arba'in. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? And subhanAllah, you wonder what kind of a person this is, that he comes and talks such a thing. That if my father dies, one of them said this, 3 nights, that's it for me. Yeah, because you have no emotions. You have no ruh. You have no feelings. That's you. But the amount that we do for Imam al-Hussein, the more and more we do, we know that we haven't done anything. We haven't even gave 1% of what Imam Hussein did for us, just to give back, to repay for that 1%. That is not, we haven't done anything. If you think for a moment that you have done something, believe me, you have to sit down and recalculate everything. Because the more you give, the more knowledge you have of Ahlul Bayt, the more you know, I'm not doing anything. I haven't done anything for Ahlul Bayt, alayhim afdalus salati wassalam. So, that was the first question. The second question, and I want you to participate. Don't be afraid. Answer the questions. And I want you also, and I asked the brother Ali Rada to ask the community to write the questions. Write a question. What you have on your mind. Any questions? Come up with questions and tell me what your concerns are. And I can, inshallah, at the best of my ability, answer those questions. But now it's my time to ask you questions. So that was the first question. Yes? What is the purpose of an Islamic center? The second question, and that is a very important question, and that is this. What brings you to this center? To any center. What do you go to it? Why? What motivates you to go to a center? Here's a good one. What's your name? What's your name? Ali, mashallah. For his well-being and his family well-being, sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Yes, Ali, go on. To attend it? Yes, of course, that's the question, to attend it. But why do we go to the center? What motivates you? I'll give an example. Tea. Tea is one of the motivation. We have a good tea, we go. Some people are like that. I'll go for the tea. Yes. That's what makes him go into the car, drive the car, come for 30, 40 kilometers here, have some tea. Yes. What else? Socializing. You want to see other people. You want to see your peers. You want to see friends. You want to see this mu'mineen, mashallah, the mu'mineen. And that, the shaking of the hand of a mu'min, the embracing of a mu'min, gives you some, power, gives you some energy. So we said tea, we said socializing. What else? Tazkiyat al-nafs, Hasan, tazkiyat al-nafs. The Shabab, the ones there, I want you to answer. What motivates you to come to a center? One of the boys, when I asked this question, he said, my mom, she forces me to come to the center. So this is not my will to come to the center. The speaker, we can say, the speaker, what he's saying, motivates you to come to a center. Yes? So we can say tea, the food and the beverages, the service of the center that serves you, the food they make, the tea they give, the beverages. That is one of the ways. What else we said? We said that tazkiyatun nafs, socializing, welcoming center. You come here and you say Assalamu alaikum. You have the Hajj there. May Allah give him long life. Hajj Zain Sharif. When he says the salam to you and you feel welcome, you say, I'm going to come tomorrow again. But if you come to a center, as soon as you enter, why are you here? You say, tomorrow I'm not going to go. It's a welcoming center. If a center is run by people, they welcome every person, you go, I want to go tomorrow. I will go the next day. I will go. Any programs they have, I will go to it. So this is the question we have to ask ourselves. The purpose of a center, why I go to the center, what motivates me to go to the center. And those are the list, and there are many others. You can say that the center is welcoming. You can say that the center is relevant to my problems today, that I want to address my problems, I want to address my issues, and I want to be there. The third question, what makes you turn away from a center? You say, I'm not going to go to that center. And I gave an example. If it's not welcoming center. If the people you go there, they straight away, they become these judgmental people. Your salah is not right. What do you have tattoos? What do you have a earring? What do you have this? What do you have that? You say, I don't want to be judged. Who are you to judge me? I want to go there. I want to pray. I want to listen to a lecture. And then I want to go home. That's it. So what turns you away from a center? What? Yes? Hasan, that is one of them. But I'm talking about the center itself. That is, of course, one of the reasons that we become very occupied with life. We do what? We live to work or work to live. And here plays a big word. That I work to live or I live to work. So, Shabab there, what makes you turn away from a center? Ahsan, that was the question. That was the answer I was looking for. And that is very important. So what's your name, brother? Ahsan. So his answer is what I'm looking for, and he said it. And that is that you come to a center, you see it's not relevant anymore. See this member? This member, we call it member. Yes? We call that a pulpit, a podium, stage. This stays. We don't change it. This has been here for years and years and years. Not just that one. Any member has guided thousands, millions of people to the right path. It's not who is talking. It's not that Hasan is talking, or Fulan is talking, or that person, or that person. It's the message they're conveying to you, the sayings of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam. Now there is this issue that we have when a young man, and we say youth, we're talking about youth. When the youth sees there is no topic is being discussed that is not relevant to me, it's all history. History after history after history, and there is no relevancy at all. There is not that link that I can link it to my daily life. I just go there, listen to some stories, cry a bit. The people of Kufa, they betrayed the Imam. The people of Basra, they betrayed the Imam. Ubaidullah ibn Ziyad did that and that and that and that. And khalas, I go, 10 nights finished. And if I sit down, what did I gain from that? Yes, I learned some history. But after that, there was nothing that can change my life to become a better person, a greater person. And that is what is alarming. That's why you see a lot of young men, lots and lots of young men and young women, they don't turn up to a center because they don't see it's relevant anymore. And that's one of the questions. I tell you this, and I'm a very, very honest person. One of the shortcomings is the shortcoming of the khatib himself, the speaker. Whenever a speaker is invited to any center, the first question he must ask when he's invited, the person who invites him, he should ask this question: what are the topics I should bring up? Your community, what issues that they're facing? Your community is different than my community. My community is different than the community that lives in London. Another in London community is different than the one that live in where? In Karbala. They're very different. Their ideologies, their perspectives of life, it's way different. So that's one. The speaker himself must ask this question: what's relevant? What is the topic that you youth are looking for? For example, say they're very young, they're at the stage of marriage, and they should know about marriage. Is that a topic I should bring up? Yes. Yes. But if I come and I bring up a topic about taqwa, piety, and you say, oh, we heard this hundreds of times. I know piety. Piety is the foundation of the religion. Piety makes up everything. I can build up on it. But there's something else that I can do alongside with that is complementing piety, that can hold on to my religion. That is why it says whoever gets married, he has completed half of his religion. Half of his religion is safe now because he's married. But there is this issue. So one, we said relevancy. The other issue is what? What am I doing now? The very thing I'm doing now. What is it? I'm speaking to you. It's a lecture. Lecture itself is getting out of fashion. We have to have new ideas, new ways to deliver the message. New ways. We need new ways. The message is still the same message. You don't change the message. The message, it's perfect. Imam Ali ibn Musa rada alayhi afdal salati was salam, he says, teach people about our sayings and they follow us. علموا الناس محاسن كلامنا يتبعونا. Tell them about our sayings, they will follow us. But the way you do it must be different. Now, if you look at a movie, any movie tonight, today, you go do a search. What happens when the movie finishes? What happens? The director name comes up, the sound director, the composer, the writers, the actors. All of those people, they have one thing in common, one goal. And that goal is what? To tell you a story. There is a beginning, there is a middle, and there is an end. The movie can be a horror movie, can be a sci-fi movie, can be a romantic movie. But the idea is what? To deliver a message, to deliver to you a story. It's telling you a story. We are also doing the same thing. I start the beginning, I have a middle, and I have an end. I'm telling you a story. But the problem here is we haven't changed the way that I deliver the message to you. It's still, of course, this stays the same. You cannot change that because it's perfect. It doesn't need to be changed. But now life is changing. World is moving forward. I'm not relevant anymore because I live in the old time. I'm not changing who I am. Now, if someone comes now with a Nokia 5110, you know what Nokia 5110 is? The old phones. You look at it and you say, where's your smartphone? Because everyone is using a smartphone. The reason for that, because we have apps, we have the life now is all different now. You need something like that. You need a smartphone for you to go up and down. You need a smartphone to conduct your business, to socialize. You can't do that like before. We have, unfortunately, many centers, they have been stuck in the same old fashion, traditional fashion. Change. No. I know some centers, I told them in the beginning of Muharram, actually the beginning of Ramadan, this year, open a YouTube channel. One of them told me, one of the community members, what's YouTube? He's a very old person, he doesn't know. And I said, alhamdulillah, if I was him, it would be great. I don't know what YouTube is, but you need YouTube because you have to do live streaming. Sometimes this is the problem, that we're not evolving, we're not moving forward, we're not changing like they are. Who? Netflix. Who? Disney Plus. Who? Amazon Prime. Who? At the other side, if you look at it, if you go now on YouTube, there are hundreds of programs, infographic programs, motion graphic program. That's where we lack. We are 30, 40 years behind. And we're not changing. Why? Because, of course, we have those people in the community of ours, with all due respect, they just want to stay the same. They don't want to move forward. You need to move forward. A young man, a young woman, when they come to a center, they need to see something different. For a lecturer to go up and read for half an hour, 45 minutes, a boring lecture, and then comes down and they say, oh my God, he just, alhamdulillah, he's finished. You know, we wanted him to finish earlier than that. And then they put their head down and they go home and they haven't gained anything. That is the issue there. So we need to evolve. We need to move forward. How do we move forward? Programs that are for the youth, and tonight is about youth. Because the ones who are the elders, with all due respect, you know what you're doing, mashallah. You know your salah, you know your siyam, you know your ziyarah. The issue here is with the youth. The youth doesn't know. Now I'll give an example. If a person wants to get married, he wants to get married. When a person is after marriage and he thinks, as an individual, a young man, he's looking for a wife, a rightful wife. What does he need? Does he need a lecture or does he need a workshop? He needs a workshop that teaches that individual, that young man, the huquq, the right of himself and the right of the spouse that he's going to get married tomorrow with, the woman. You need that, and I say it loudly, it's a wajib act. Before you even go for proposal, for you to sit down, at least read one book, at least have one session, at least have one workshop about marriage before you enter into this. Because you're investing money, your time, everything. Yet some individuals, they enter this life, they get married, and the only concerns he has, his family has, is what? The dowry. The dowry, how much they're asking for. He doesn't think that, what is my right as a husband? What's my right? What's her right? Where is the limit? What can she ask for? What can I ask for? Isn't that true? You need what? A workshop. After the workshop is done and they get a certificate signed by the Maulana, they get, all right, now you're prepared. Of course, your life is not going to be 100% all honeymoon. It's going to be honeymoon. It's going to then after that be what? Vinegar. It's going to go downhill. But you would know what to do with it because you're going to have this roller coaster. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. But because you had the workshop, not a lecture, a workshop, and you went through the problems, you went through the rights, your right, her right. Now you know what's happening. I myself, when I got married very late. When I was 27, I didn't know any of this. Nothing. Even though I come from a religious background, my father is al-alim, my uncles are ulama. But as a community, as a society, all together, everyone thinks they will figure it out. No, that's not right. That's not right. Sometimes it will be very, very late by the time they think of divorce. Beforehand, they need to know. Before it. And that is what we need, a workshop. What else do we need? As for the youth, and the youth themselves, they have to speak. A youth committee. Of course, we have the elders. They have the elders. They are the ones that have the keys. They have the whole lot of the community. Of course, this community center under the control. Nothing changes there. Everything is under the control. But you also have a youth committee. You need that because they are the ones that are the thinkers. The think tank, if you may. They come with different ideas. On top of that, the center itself needs a 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 50-year plan. If a center doesn't have a plan for next week, this center should be shut down. Who's your speaker next week? We haven't decided yet. What are you cooking next week? We haven't decided yet. The center is not there, unfortunately. And I know many of them like this. Last minute, I had more than 10 phone calls before Muharram al-Haram. Sayyid, where are you this Muharram? Can you do lectures for us? I said, which Muharram? This Muharram or next year? No, not this year. I said, Muharram. We don't have a lecturer. I said, subhanallah, which center are you from? This center. I said, please shut it down. You're not preparing for Muharram that is coming tomorrow. What center? Because it's a responsibility. Don't think this is just open a door and turn on the lights and that's it. They know the ones they run it, they know, the community knows it. The hundreds of problems that comes to them. I know it myself because I myself have a school. I know hundreds of problems comes to them. And we know it's a responsibility. The center itself needs a 5-year plan, at least 5-year plan, at least. If they don't, the center really doesn't know what it is doing. Now, for example, when this very center that we are in right now, the land was purchased. When the land was purchased, a lot of people said, and I remember you told me this, yes? That people are saying it's very far. I said, well, everyone says that they will move. Many people, they will move. If they see it's a good center, they will move to those areas that is near the center. And you need a bigger center for it to hold on all of these people. Where was your old center? The MWA was in Granville. Remember Granville Center? Small. I came many times. I came to that center and I served the community there. It was very small house. It wasn't accommodating everyone. You need something else. What the elders, they thought, the community, we need something bigger. Of course, that's very important, but still, on top of that, you need more programs. You need more ideas pouring in, one after the other, and you implement them. So we said what? Workshop. What else? Camp for the youth. Yes, you need camps. Take them to a journey. Take them here and there. Camps. From that camp, you hold on 1 or 2 or 3 of these youngsters. You see they're very, mashallah, clever. They're very smart. Have you finished your studies? Yes, I finished. Can you go to and study Hawza for about a year or 2? We have a program for you there. Or go to Mashhad, or go to Najaf, or go to Karbala. What does that mean, that self? You're doing what? You're bringing reinforcements. You need more and more people to come tomorrow to teach more classes. They need to learn. Not that we just rely on one person and that is it. They need to go. And the community itself needs to think, I have Fulan and Fulan and Fulan, they're very smart and they have finished their studies here, they got the HSC. I can send them a year or 2, I will help them out, let them go study and then let them come back. They can be a help to the community, they can be a help to the youngsters, to the youth. If that doesn't happen, what happens? Tomorrow you don't have any more reinforcements, you don't have anyone helping. You have one Residentul Alam, and you have hundreds and hundreds of people, they need more and more and more of help, and you can't give that out. The demand is there, but you can't give it. There is nothing that you can give out. And that is one of the issues that we have today with many of the centers. Many of the centers. Not enough programs, nothing that can accommodate for them. And that brings us to the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Allah. There are many ahadith about the youth. The very first hadith that I recite, before I recite this one, the very first one, the Prophet says, "Awsikum bishubban." I advise you for the youngsters. Why? Bishubban khayran fa innahum araqqu af'idah. I give you an advice, and the Prophet here says, and I advise you to take care of the young man and woman, because their heart, they're more pure than the ones who are older. The companions of the Prophet, the majority of them were young men. The majority of the companions of the Prophet. And one of the ones from the Jahiliyyah, in the time of the Jahiliyyah, one of the people of Quraysh, the leaders of Quraysh, he said, he's taking our youngsters away from us, our youth. Look what he's doing, because the elders, what we're saying, what? The elders, very stubborn, very stubborn. This is what we found our grandfathers and fathers and our ancestors on. And we're not going to change. The Prophet, he first went after the who? The youth. Then he went after the elders. When the youth were all with him and they looked around, my son is gone, my nephew is gone, my niece is gone, they're all gone. And they said, you know what? That's it. He has all of the families. And then they changed. The companions of Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ali ibn Talib, alayhi salatu wassalam, same thing. The companions of Imam al-Hasan al-Mujtaba, the companions of Sayyid al-Shuhada, alayhi salatu wassalam, the majority of them in Karbala, they were youth. young man, young woman. Ali al-Akbar. How old was Ali Akbar in Karbala? The hadith says what? 18? No. It was 27. Hadith says 27. He was close to 27. Before Ali al-Akbar, the Alamdar, he was a youth as well. He was a young man. How old was the Alamdar? Huh? 32, 33. Ahsantum. So we can start with him. The Alamdar is the general of the Imam, Alamdar. 33, and then you come to Ali al-Akbar, about 27. Then you come to Qasim ibn al-Hasan. How old is Qasim ibn al-Hasan? 13. Then you come to the sons of Aqil, the sons of Muslim ibn Aqil. They're all in their 20s. They were close to 20. Then you come to Abdullah bin Hasan, the brother of Qasim ibn al-Hasan. He was 11. The companions of the Imam. They fought for the Imam, and they were killed for the Imam. And these two that we are here to remember, to remind ourselves of their sacrifice, these two, the sons of who? Who are they are the sons of Lady Zainab, salamullah alayha. They were also youth in Karbala. They were not old men. The majority of the Imam's companions were this youth. And they brought this revolution to what it is right now. Because for a revolution to be successful, you need a couple of factors for it to happen. One, the leader of the revolution must be someone who is pious. So who is the leader of this revolution? Imam al-Hussein himself. The revolution needs a right message. What's a right message? What's the message of Imam al-Hussein? Amr bil ma'roof wa nahy anil munkar. That's the second one. The third one is the companions. The Imam needs companions that are right people. They are people that can help him, that truly. That's why the Imam, when he came to Ashura, what did the Imam say to his companion? After the Imam test, after test, and after test, he said, فَإِنِّي لَا أَعْلَمُ أَصْحَابًا أَوْفَى مِنْ أَصْحَابِي. I don't see or know any other companions more loyal than my companions. After test and test and test. That's the third. What's the fourth? Someone has to broadcast it down. Someone has to take it from Karbala to Kufa, from Kufa to Sham. And who did that? Lady Zainab, salamullah alayha. So, one of it was what? The companions. For that revolution to be successful. So, now we come to this. The importance of them coming here is very important. The youth. Any center needs to give them more of freedom for them to come up with new ideas. As I mentioned, new programs and new ideas, and of course the topics need to change. Need to change for it to be relevant. And I mentioned a couple of examples. Camp is one of them. Bonfires, you need discussions outside, Q&A discussions. Outside, you have a bonfire, you sit down with a large amount of youth, and after they have something to eat, they're sitting down, you ask questions, they ask questions, let them be free, let them talk. We just recently with the boys, some of the boys that come to the school here, we went before the month of Muharram, we went paintball, and I was with them. I went with them paintball. What does that mean? You need to be with them. You might say it, come on, you? Me, Rasulullah used to go out with his companions camping. He used to go play sport. Rasulullah, outside of Medina, used to tell Imam Ali, get the companions ready, tell them we want to go out from Medina. They used to go out, they used to play a game, and Rasulullah used to be with this team that the Prophet is with, it's winning. So the other team gets upset, the Prophet tells them, I come up with you now. So he used to change. He used to go with them. The person in charge needs to always be with the youth. That's why you see there are many ahadith. A person used to come to Medina al-Munawwara and he used to look for the Prophet. He says, where is your Prophet? Because the Prophet used to be sitting with them. And they couldn't tell that this is a Prophet. He's right there. He's sitting right there with us. So, of course, the programs needs to change. And that needs to happen for it to go on. And these are questions that I ask, and if you haven't answered them, think of them, and what are the answers for them? Maybe I missed one or two here, but of course, There are, of course, many other ways that a person can do this. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So that is the message of tonight. One, have a goal, 5-year goal, 10-year goal, and what we need to achieve. Two, have a committee. By them, by the youth, they need to be involved. Three, the relevancy of what we have today, the topics that we need to discuss, let them talk about it. Not that we only talk and we think, I can change them from one place to another. That's the hadith that the Imam said, Amir al-Mu'mineen said, don't treat your children, the youth, like, and you want them to follow the way that you were led, because they live in a different age. They're in a different age. Don't think because they are your children, I can lead them like a remote control. Some people think I can take them right and left. And then tomorrow what happens? You see a lot of centers are empty. You wonder, where are the youth? Where are the youth? Is it my only shortcoming because I've been doing this years and years and years and I haven't changed, I haven't adapted to the new way? This is the result of it. That if you go today to many centers around, not Muharram. Muharram is different. Don't bring up Muharram. Muharram, many of the centers, they are full. Many of them. Because it's Muharram. So there is no center that is empty. But after Muharram, when you have programs and programs and programs and they don't show up, you wonder, where are they? Well, it's your shortcoming. Because you don't accommodate, you're not changing who you are. You're not adapting. And that is the result of that. That is the result of this years and years and years. And with all due respect, and some people might get upset from this, there are some centers around that we have them, that the person who is in charge has been in charge for 20, 30, 40, 50 years until death. Isn't it enough? And I told one of them actually, I said, Hajj, go for some ziyarat. You come to a center, who turned on the light, who turned on the AC, why the youth have programs, let's cancel them. I said, go to ziyarah. And actually he went to ziyarah yesterday. He took my advice. Now why you want to control them? Why is that you think you have to be in charge like a king from the day they put the crown on his head until he dies? This is not your responsibility. If you see them going themselves, let them do it. Just let them go. And you just lead from the back, as behind the scenes. That should be your role. Of course, the respect is there. You need to respect the ones they built, the ones they established, of course. But it shouldn't be because of me, you close it down. Because of me, you don't do programs. Because of me, you shut down the lights and you do everything, and that's it. You are done. It shouldn't be the way. Because with serving, it should be what? With serving. What is the number one condition of serving Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam? What is the first condition? That I need to have it. Every khadim, every servant needs to have it, or that person is truly not a right servant. And that is what? Who can tell me here? What is the first condition of serving? Huh? Don't be shy. I don't know why you guys are shy. I ask this question all the time and everyone. Huh? Yes. Now, but for me, if I'm a servant, what's the first thing I have to think of when I get up in the morning and I want to go to the Imam Barga? I'm going to the Imam Barga, I want to serve. What is the condition? The thing, I have to think of this every day. What do I need to have it? Huh? Intention, of course, yes. That's for wudu and salah. And yes, intention. The intention is there, but I tell you this. What's the first thing? Sincerity. What is it? Say it loud. أحسنتم. إخلاص في العمل. If I'm sincere, it will happen. If I'm not sincere, nothing will move on. If I'm doing for my fame, and some people have found this member to be a ladder for their fame, for more and more and more Instagram followers and subscribers on YouTube, and my face that'll go up there because I'm beautiful and I say the words nice, that's not sincerity. That's not. Because if you want to serve him, you have to be sincere. Ikhlas fil amal. And you don't care if they put your name up there or they don't. As we had many programs when we'll do fundraising, some people are like this, and someone takes a mic. Fulan, this individual paid $100. They mentioned the names. I remember one time was Imam Ali's birthday. They forgot someone's name. He stood up and he said, "You forgot my name. How dare you?" And I looked at him and afterward I said to him, "Was that the amal you did, was it for the sake of Allah or was it sake of people for them to applaud for you?" Because if you know sincere, Allah the Almighty says to you, Allah says, "Did you do the amal for me?" And many people, they don't. Allah addresses that person. Allah says to them what? Ya kafir, ya zindiq, ya mushrik, habita amaluk. Your amal has no weight. And then God the Almighty says to that individual, "Go get the reward of that amal from the people, because you did it for them. You were waiting for them to clap for you. You waited for them to say, Ahsant, Jazakallah khairah jaza." If there is sincere in amal, you see the whole center going up and thriving and changing many things, because there is sincerity in amal. And I tell you this story, and I end. There was this old lady. She came to one of the biggest khutaba speakers in Karbala al-Muqaddasa by the name of Sheikh Abdul Zahra al-Ka'bi. She said to him, "Recite to me some majalis." If you listen on the day of Ashura to many of the Arabic channels, you hear the maqtal, the story of the Imam's martyrdom from him, Sheikh Abdul Zahra al-Ka'bi. She came to this Sheikh, "Recite for me." He said to her, "Old lady, I recite in the shrine of Imam Hussein's shrine. It's really hard for me to finish and come to you." She insisted. "Okay, inshallah, whatever you say." Old lady, you can't say no. "So give me the address, inshallah, after my majlis, after my program in the shrine of Imam al-Hussein, that it's filled with people, thousands on thousands. You know how big the shrine is, and how many people come. I come to you, inshallah." Old lady, small house. She gave him the address in this neighborhood, in this alley, this number. He went there. First night finished, he had the program finished in the shrine. He went to her house. He saw her waiting outside. "Assalamu alaikum, alaikum assalam. Come, Sheikh, tfaddal. I was waiting for you. You were a bit late, 2-3 minutes late." "Yes, tfaddali. I was walking from there. I know. Sit down." She brought him some water. She gave it to him. Very known khatib, speaker. People listen to him in thousands. Even today, in thousands listen to him, and he passed away many years ago. And then she says to him, "Start the majlis." He looks around. There's no one in the house. It's empty. It's only him and her. "Old lady, there's no one here. Where are your neighbors? Where's your family members, your friends?" "I tell them every year, no one wants to come. I'm very poor. You can see I'm very poor. Whoever I tell them to come, they refuse. They don't want me to host any majalis, so they don't come to my house. It's only me and you. You have the chair ready for you. Get up and recite for me some majlis, inshallah, whatever you say." He got up, he sat down, recited the first night majlis, first of Muharram, finished. Second of Muharram, finished. Third, same thing, no one comes. Fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. 10th is Ashura, isn't it? Day of Ashura, Karbala, Qiyamah, Judgment Day. Everyone is outside. ركضة الطويريج, تطبير, عزاء, لطم, مقتل. Everyone is outside. They're crying for Imam al-Hussein. The shrine of Imam Hussein itself, Judgment Day. He finished with the maqtal. After the maqtal is finished, after the azaa is finished, he started, "Oh, I told her I have to go. Al-mu'min idha wa'ada wafa." I have told her I will go. I gave her my word. I have to go. So he went by himself. She was again waiting outside. "Tfaddal, sit down. Here you go, some water." He drank some water. "Go, start. Woman, is anyone coming today?" "Today it's Ashura, at least 1 or 2 people." She said to him, "No, not even one. It's just me and you. That's it. Please start. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لما أصبح الحسين يوم عاشوراء. This is the beginning. When they started on the day of Ashura, قام فيهم خطيبا. The Imam got up and he started the sermon, and the whole thing started. The companions went into the battlefield, all died, one after the other. The first of the Hashemites, as Ali al-Akbar, went into the battlefield, died. Second, third, fourth, fifth, to the end. He came to the last of the Hashemites, and that was who? Alamdar. Alamdar went up, finished, done, and then came to the Imam himself, the farewell of the Imam. Imam goes to the battlefield. He says himself, and he tells the truth. He says, when I started the maqtal of the Imam himself, the death of the Imam himself, I felt there was this earthquake in her house, the presence of some people. I looked around, there's no one there. I start reciting the maqtal. And you know the story of the maqtal. Ibn Abi al-Hutuf, he throws a rock, a stone, he hits the head of the Imam, Imam bleeds. The other one, Harmala, he shoots an arrow to the heart of the Imam bleeds. The Imam falls down. He says, as soon as I said the Imam fell to the ground, I heard this scream in her house, and there was this earthquake, as if something is moving, shaking. The earth itself is shaking, and there's no one. And I heard this loud scream, Wa Husayna, Wa Akha, oh brother, oh Hussein. I looked around, there's no one. But I continued. He continued with the maqtal. I continued with the maqtal when they surrounded the Imam. One came from the right, one came from the left. One is stabbing the Imam with the sword, one is stabbing the Imam with the spear, one is shooting arrows. And I heard another scream, Wa walada, wa abatah, wa imamah, wa Husayna. Oh father, oh Hussein. I looked around again, there's no one there. And I came to this last part when Shamr came and sat on the chest of the Imam. And I heard this scream, I couldn't continue. I heard someone screaming, Wa waladah, wa Husayna. Oh father, oh son, oh Hussein. Oh son, oh Hussein. I looked around, I said to the old lady, do you have another room? You have people have come here because I'm hearing voices. She says to me, no, there's no one here, just me and you. He said, did you hear anything? She said, yes, I hear this every year. I hear it when they recite the maqtal. I hear someone calling out, Wa akha wa Husayna, oh brother, oh Hussein. And I hear another scream, Wa abatah wa Husayna, oh father, oh Hussein. And I hear the last one, that is Wa waladah wa Husayna. I said to her, I tell you who these people are, because they do come to this majalis of ours. If you believe it, you believe it. If you don't, this is your choice. And that is who, she asked him, she said, who are these people? I hear them every year. He called out, oh lady, the one who called Wa akha wa Husayna, that is Zainab. And the one who called out Wa abatah wa Husayna, that is Sukayna. And the one who called out Wa waladah wa Husayna, that is his mother Fatimah az-Zahra, salamullahi alayha. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك وأناخت برحلك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. Raise your hands all together, inshallah. We recite the salam of Imam al-Hussein Salamullah alayhi. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the rizq to visit the Imam in this life, and his, of course, intercession, the Imam intercession in the hereafter. Assalamu ala al-Husayn wa ala Ali ibn al-Husayn wa ala وعلى أصحاب الحسين وعلى أخته العقيلة عقيلة الطالبين زينب الكبرى وأخيه أبا الفضل العباس ورحمة الله وبركاته. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج، اللهم عجل فرجه، سهل مخرجه، اجعلنا من أنصاره وأعوانه يا رب العالمين. يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم يا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلبي على دينك. الفاتحة قبلها الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد.